Cool. Welcome to another episode of the Dark Mushroom Media live cast, rather, not podcast. With me, as always, I've got Tim.
Hello.
And Jose down at the bottom there.
Ooh.
We're all a bunch of assholes who like to talk about games.
I thought you were gonna go with pieces of shit.
Well, you know, that too. But anyways, as usual, we're gonna kick it off with the news. Tim, what you got? What do we have going on?
Tim with the weather.
Yeah, I'm the fucking weatherman.
Yeah.
OnLive's finally dead or about to be dead.
What is?
Which was exactly. OnLive was a streaming service back in like the early 2010s. It was an interesting concept. It was like Netflix for games. You just paid a flat fee and you could play shit. I remember at the time, like it was around like when Saints Row 3 came out. Was when it was kind of at its peak.
Yeah.
So, you know, a few years ago. But back in, I think it was 2013, I thought the company went down, but apparently they just sold off to some other company and it kept running. And it's been running, even though I thought it shut down a couple years ago. But now it's officially going to be dead inside of a month or two. It was an interesting concept. I don't know if internet speeds were quite ready for it, though. Like, it seems like something that'll be viable in like 10 years. But
like broadband was widely available when OnLive was supposedly.
Yeah, but like a lot of it's I don't know. It never really caught on. I had a few games for it. I played some shit on it. I didn't really have that many issues, but there was a lag you could definitely notice, even though it was very minuscule.
What games did you play on it?
I got some shit through Humble Bundle, like Trine, Space Pirates, Zombies, some bullshit like that. Trine was the main thing I played entirely through it. And Trine was something I played through it because I played through it on Steam, and I kind of wanted to see if I could feel the difference, and I could. Even though it was very, very small, it was still there.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that would be any sort of lag in a game like Trine would just make that game infinitely more annoying.
Yeah, a platformer. And it was very, very like minuscule, but just the fact that it was a platformer, you could really tell.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've definitely heard of it. I didn't even realize that was still around though. I can't remember the last time I heard anything about that. It's interesting that it's finally shutting down. Is it, or did they say like why? Is it just because they've lost money, or?
Yeah, no one fucking uses it.
Well,
I guess
that'll doom you.
It had one really cool feature where before Twitch became a thing, you could just pop on like this web, like basically Twitch. Like there was this giant wall of video. You clicked the video, and it would go to some guy who was playing a game live. So it was kind of like Twitch existed at that point, but you know it wasn't the monster it is today. But that was a really cool feature to have a client where you could do that, even though Steam's kind of doing that now. But it was very easy and simple, and that was a really cool thing with OnLive. But again, just kind of doomed to fail for years now.
Yeah. I don't think anybody really expected that to succeed, to be honest. But you know, what do I know? Anyways, what else we got on the list?
GOG implemented a reclaim system over, well, I guess, yeah, it was over the weekend. Basically, what this allows people to do is, like, in particular with everyone outside of Russia, the Stalker series, if you had a boxed copy of it, you could redeem that product key on GOG and get a DRM free copy of it from their website, and along with all the goodies that you would normally get when you purchase that game. I was able to do it with Steam keys for all but one of the games, which is Shadow of Chernobyl, the first one. Everyone was. Some people got Shadow of Chernobyl. But that's really cool. It's a thing GOG's starting up where you'll be able to do that. They're going to try to expand that base to other games. Aren't
there only like 6 of them available right now?
Yeah, for most of the world, it's the Stalker series. And then in Russia only, it's Mountain Blade and Ether Lords or something.
Why is Russia getting
Is
all
that
this
because the
free
Russian
love?
government guarantees everyone a copy of fucking Chernobyl? Was that it?
I don't know. It's strange because some people with the Stalker of what am I saying? Some people with Shadow of Chernobyl keys with their Steam keys were able to redeem a copy, but a lot weren't. So I don't know. You have to keep in mind that was all run through GameSpy too, which is just null and void at this point. Which is part of why GOG was able to set that in motion. But yeah, I really like the idea of them doing this, and I hope they continue to do it with other titles. I really like GOG, and I would move some of my library over there.
It's a pretty small pool so far, but yeah, if they manage to expand that into something, bigger with games that that aren't Stalker, then that might be really awesome. I don't know.
I guess if you like jumping between like client to client and having your games all over the
Well,
place.
that's the whole point of having it DRM free, so you don't have to do that from then
Until
on.
GOG puts out their client, which I will happily download and use because it's GOG.
Yeah, because you have been either like prophesying or like maybe you read it somewhere that GOG is coming out with something Steam-like.
It's announced. It was supposed to. The beta was supposed to come out by now for the client,
Oh.
or the alpha, or whatever the fuck. They're a little slow on that, but they can take their time. I don't mind. I like the idea of a DRM free client, even though that kind of.
I just like the fact that they had Rex Nebula before Steam did.
Oh yeah, Rex Nebular all day. I think that's on sale on Steam, by the way. If you want to spam that out to your friends list, viewers.
I will.
The shittiest game ever.
Jesus.
Best game.
I just don't even, man.
I just derailed us.
I just don't even.
Get in the way. That's what Rex Nebula does.
Oh man.
What else?
Nice.
H1Z1 got a big update last week, which they entitled, what was it, the Big Damn Patch? Yeah, the Big Damn Patch.
Something like that.
They are adding a lot of content to this game, but it seems like every step forward they make, they like take two back in a way. It's just, I'm not very optimistic with the future of H1Z1. Hacking is very much still a thing. The idea of subscriber-based battle royale really annoys the shit out of me.
Wait, what? What is this?
Yeah, initially they were going to launch it while it was still in early access, but they want to do a subscription-based model with Battle Royale, which is like, well, it's a different game mode than the normal Persistent World game mode. It's kind of like you just drop into a small area with like 150 other people, and you just kill the shit out of each other. And like the top 10 people the top 10 people that survive the longest get rewarded with in-game cosmetics and shit like that. It's a cool little thing. The idea was you could pay for the tickets, or you could just earn them in-game. You could find them around town, fucking safe somewhere. You could earn the tickets, basically. And they, about a month ago...
Oh, is that what those tickets did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And about a month ago, they were like, no, we're going to do a subscription-based model now. And fucking Reddit just lost their shit. So now what they're doing is like, well, it's early access, and this is still a beta, yada yada. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow we're going to keep the battle royale system the way it was, but we are planning on implementing a subscription-based thing when the game officially launches, which just I don't like at all. At all. I mean, if you can still find tickets in the game, I wouldn't mind it as much, but there's got to be some sort of
What about the
bullshit.
tickets that like people already have?
I don't know. You can still use them now, but because obviously they didn't implement it. But I don't know how that's going to work. All up in the air. And you have to keep in mind that the developers shifted. This used to be Sony, and now it's I don't know who the fuck it is now.
Sony Online sold, right?
Yeah, they sold it to someone, and now they're doing it. It's mostly still the same people. I mean, there were some layoffs, but it's mostly in the same hands that it launched with. I don't know. I don't like the idea of subscription-based anything for not just the game, but like a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of dumb, kind of fucking dumb. Don't like the idea of it. And not very happy with it. I'm not very optimistic with H1Z1, but honestly, like even if the game turned out to be shit and just goes downhill from here, I think I got my money's worth out of it.
Yeah, the one time I did play that game, I think I played it for like 6 hours with you fucks. Took us 4 hours to fucking find one another, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had enough fun with it. Yelling at people over the microphone, initiating firefights, and then us all running for our lives.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of that office. Do you remember that shit?
Oh, yeah. That was you, too, wasn't it? But, like, inevitably got us all killed.
Hey, you, give us all your stuff. No, I'm just joking, please.
Remember that guy walked in, like,
yeah,
one of us, and then two of us chased him, and we're under sniper fire.
Yeah, the sniper
was not
shots
pleasant.
just started happening. That guy eventually came back around and got me. He just like appeared out of nowhere in a police cruiser and just killed me while I think you were trying to find Jose. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I had some
the thing
fun
is,
with
like, the
that game.
hacking has gotten worse since, like...
What kind of hacks are there? Are just like speed, aimbot, and that kind of shit?
Speed, everything. Like, I haven't touched it in a while, but it got to the point where I would literally be walking down the street and I'd just be dead. And I'd see like this like Cthulhu blob thing just kind of zip past and forth and then stop over my body and loot all my shit and zip away. It was very, very unsettling. But it's kind of, I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense that there wouldn't be major hacksaws the first couple weeks, but it's just kind of interesting that the first couple weeks there weren't that many hackers, and now it's just very much a fucking thing.
Well,
Like,
you'd think
the
that you'd
17th
think.
level.
I mean, they have their own separate client that you have to log into via Steam. They have like a bunch. I don't know. You'd think they'd have a better handle on it.
They every time they do a big patch, they're like, hey, we're fucking knocking out hackers left and right. Like, we're taking care of the issue. But every time there's a big patch, and when I read the comments, and even now when I was reading the comments, it's like, hey, hackers are still a fucking thing, and they're ruining this game.
Is there even like an easy way to report these people? Like I know with
the way they set it up was not really. You basically write them a ticket, and you tell them what server you were on, the name of the person, who you were, shit like that, circumstances. But there's no like in-game thing.
Which
really
implementing something like that alone would probably help, but I don't know. I mean, like, it's hard to get on top of that once that kind of thing starts happening, because you have to fix the exploit itself, and sometimes that's rather hard to do.
But
people really confident.
They're always going to be like a step ahead.
Yeah, that's
but
the other thing.
One thing that Tryon did with Arcade, like that game was completely ruined by hackers. That a lot of people just gave up on it. But one thing they did do is like kind of like a lot of MMOs that you just send like a global message, and there's usually one or two actual living human beings, logged in from Tryon or whatever, and they, zoom to your location, take care of the situation. If there was like a simple way to do that, that at least
and you have
helps.
to keep in mind that these guys were the guys who did PlanetSide, which was sort of renowned for having good, like, no hackers or whatsoever. A lot of people reported they played that game.
It wasn't the same team, was it? It wasn't the exact.
No,
same.
but
Like,
it was the
Sony
same.
Online is huge.
Right, but a lot of people who worked on it also worked on, or were working on H1Z1. That was a big thing they were toting, like, hey, we kept PlanetSide pretty good for a while. It's still decent. We can do it with H1Z1, and then, they did. But I do hope H1Z1 turns out to be, half the game they promised it would be. Without shitty pay-to-win elements sprinkled throughout.
Speaking of these survival games real quick, what's the status on fucking DayZ and
I read something on Reddit. The last update they did was for like hats and shirts. Like that was it.
The essentials.
Yeah. It's snails basically. I mean, I understand it's a small development team, but they've been doing it for years now. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure even if H1Z1...
It still has a pretty large community, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, even if it just launched in the shitty state it's in, like, it would still be a success for the developers, and they would still have made a decent amount of money on it just because of the hype train behind it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was really kind of the first time... Well, not the first time, but it had been a long time since anybody had implemented something like that.
Yeah, as far as, like, survival games in recent years, it definitely was. I kind of brought it back to the fold.
Yeah,
I'm looking
really
at their developer blog, looks like they put out 2 big updates a month, or at least they talk about it.
Well,
the thing I mentioned happened a few days ago. Farsendar in chat wants to know, what do you guys prefer, DayZ or H1Z1? I don't even think, have any of you guys actually played DayZ?
I mean, I've seen enough video about it to essentially know what it's all about.
I played them, like, I got Arma 2 about a year ago.
Yeah,
and
I played
for 5 minutes, but it was...
I've played, like, the actual mod, not the standalone.
Yeah, I haven't played the standalone.
But
at the time, like, Nether was still a thing, and there were other survival horror games. This was about a year ago, so I don't know, I never really messed around with it.
Honestly, that was, if I had to choose any of them, it would probably be Nether. Nether actually did manage to get me pretty into it for a little while.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much as you, but I still am willing to hop in on that game every once in a while. I don't know, there was something interesting about that game. I
like that it was teleporting demon things instead of zombies, and there were like raid bosses and shit. It wasn't just, PvP. It was more emphasis on the environment. Which is why I think the PvE servers were a decent idea, even though I haven't hopped on them. But I have read that apparently you can still get hacked in a PvE Nether server, so it's just a shit show.
You mean like people can still kill you in a PvE Nether server?
I've read reports. I haven't popped on. Like, I reinstalled it, but I haven't actually popped on it since. I've been meaning to do that. But yeah, Nether is probably the one. Yeah, Nether's definitely the survival horror game in the past year or so I've sunk the most hours into, just because I really like the teleporting fucking demonoid things.
You like it so much that every time I tell you, like, hey, I'm free tonight, let's play Nether, you say no.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you'll get 10 minutes into the game and
You've
you'll
been
be
playing
done.
Elite or whatever lately, right?
Yes, lots of elites.
No, you've been playing the hell out of that.
How is that total
It's-
fucking segue?
It's basically fucking Euro Truck Simulator in space, but with pirates. That game
And
is-
drugs.
and drugs,
All right,
yes.
All right.
I tried
all
to be. I was like a good guy pilot, Captain Reynolds. I was doing smuggling runs, just like fish and bullshit, like grinding away for 10 hours to buy my first ship, and then I got offered by a space drug cartel to fucking smuggle slaves, and in one run made back the money I spent on the ship. So I decided I'm just going to be a total dick in that game, at least until I can buy a nice ship, a better ship.
All right.
That's where I'm at. Hey, I
Is
don't
it an
think-
MMO? Is it single player? What? Tell me. I don't really know much about it.
It's basically Star Citizen, but what Star Citizen wants to be, but downscaled a lot. Like, you can play solo mode where everyone's an NPC, but they still do like player things. Like, you'll be jumping somewhere and a fucking pirate will jump in on you and try to interdict you, which is like knock you out of faster than light travel and fucking shoot the shit out of you. I've popped on multiplayer, but
And those are actual like players that are trying to do that to you.
they're players, but yeah, NPCs do that as well. They
okay.
did a really good job with solo mode. It's basically the same thing, except when it launched on Steam, you know, a lot of people hopped on it, myself included, and the starports are just a fucking mess. You can buy an auto dock thing to put on your ship, so you can just like when you get close enough to a starport, you hit a button and it just auto docks you.
Mm-hmm.
But who the fuck wants to do that? You're playing a space sim. So everyone's obviously just
Yeah.
skipped the tutorial like some asshole in this fucking cast.
Yeah.
And just tried to park their spaceship and just fucking crashes and burning. It's fucking nonsensical.
That's-
Like I parked and I looked up and I
criticizes
stepped away to
your
piss.
art.
I came back and there's just ship wreckage, right? Just floating next to me. Just someone crashed into someone else.
That's funny.
So I've been running solo.
Yeah, yeah. Have you played it with other people at all?
Yeah. I've some guys tried to like recruit me into their little piratey thing, but they were all scrub. Like at that point, I had a better ship than them, and I'm like, no, go fuck yourself. But after like 6 hours or so, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna run it solo and try to save up some credits and buy my own ship and get. Because as opposed to Star Citizen, or at least Star Citizen in its current state, it's more like you can buy whatever ship, but you can outfit it however you want. Or at least the customization is much more in depth on Elite Dangerous than it is in Star Citizen at this point in time. Keeping in mind Star Citizen is in pre-alpha. But yeah, I just bought like a fucking fighter ship, and then I just threw giant thrusters and an engine on it, and I kind of didn't have money for guns. So basically, if I get interdicted on someone knocks me out of FTL and I have to charge up my drive, I just speed the fuck away from them. And I burn it and just fucking run and then jump away, and it's worked out for me for like 10 hours now. But the concept of the game is just right now for me, it's just hauling cargo until I can buy some weapons, and then I'll be a bounty hunter and fucking be Spike Spiegel and rename my shit the Bebop. It'll be great.
Yeah, I was looking at the screenshots and stuff for it. It looks beautiful.
It's not as graphically intense as Star Citizen, but you have to keep in mind Star Citizen's running on CryEngine 3.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that you can have more, like you can interact, and in any given area, I think you can have more players than you would in Star Citizen, because Star Citizen's using the CryEngine 3, which means that maybe 100, 200 players in one instance, whereas Elite Dangerous, like when I popped in to that fucking holy shit fuck of a parking job, like mall area thing, it was ridiculous. Like there was just players everywhere. It was pretty ridiculous. So
But those are all like theoretical numbers. There's no way you're going to get a fluid game with like more than 100 people, especially something like Space Sim, and not like or Cosmodon 1002's running past you with like you not interacting with them.
well, EVE Online does it.
Yeah, but that's Lag City,
No, it's not.
That's
Is it?
Lag Central City.
Is it
I've-
really bad?
I've read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking into EVE when I was first getting back into the Space Sim bullshit, and yeah, I wouldn't have kept about that. But Elite Dangerous is pretty fun. $60 price tag. If you're really into Space Sims, it's absolutely worth it, but I would definitely wait. I don't think it'll be heavily discounted during the Steam sale, but even 20% off $60 is a nice chunk of change. So Unless it's something you're terribly, terribly interested in and want to play immediately, I would wait for a sale or something.
Yeah. I just wanted
I
to
would
hear what it
like
was
to
all about.
address what
Yeah, I mean,
somebody in chat just said
Oh,
before we
percent-
move away from survival horror completely.
Which publisher would you give your survival game with multi-million-dollar budget, basically a full retail release? I don't know. That's a Tripwire. That'd be the
Wait,
one.
what was the question? You kind of like skimmed over it.
I did kind of skim over that. Which publisher / developer would you give a survival game a multi-million-dollar budget to, basically? Like a full retail release.
That's a good question.
I'd say like Valve or fucking Tripwire. Tripwire is probably my favorite developer.
Well, I don't think he has specifically asked like what developer you think, but just like a blanket statement. He wished that multi-million-dollar games weren't just like first-person shooters or.
Yeah, he kind of did. Yeah, I kind of did just skim over that and read that completely wrong.
But yeah, I would love to see what a game like a publisher would do or a developer would do with like a multi-million-dollar budget for like a dating sim.
For a
Like
date-
or
The
like
one thing you need like a
or like
$20 budget for, just give them
Pong
millions.
simulator or something. You know, that'd just be awesome. That'd be an awesome
Rockstar Table
fucking thing to
Tennis.
see.
GG. Pong
Yeah, dude,
Simulator.
Rockstar Table Tennis was
Oh
the fucking shit,
that
man.
was awesome.
That was the
I
fucking.
love that game.
That game was the best, dude. That game was way better than it had any right being, man. Like
Absolutely.
the fact that like that game sold close to 1 million copies, and let's keep in mind it's about fucking table tennis. like that game sold like crazy, dude. Like that was a really successful game for Rockstar. Yeah, I don't know. That game was ridiculous, dude. There were a lot of instances where people came over and that's what we fucking played. I don't know. There was something about it that just kind of drew people to that game. That game was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like it would be really interesting. You know what would be that game that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. You'll know, Jose. The one where you play like a schoolgirl that kills other high school students.
Oh, that
Sir, clean up detail game?
simulator.
Yeah. That whatever it was, that sim. If somebody gave that a multi-million-dollar budget and fucking
Crying
went to
in the
town
street.
on that, like that game would be great.
Oculus Rift.
You know, obviously, like I'm still a little. I don't know how I feel about the fact that it's set in high school, but like if you did something like that where it was just like in an apartment complex or you were just like some crazy tenant in an apartment complex that was obsessed with some guy that lived next door to you and you just killed random people in the apartment, like just take it and put it in any other scenario and I would just have a fucking field day with a game like that. That would be the best. Just make it Hitman style except you're just killing civilians.
Hitman.
Yeah, dude, like it would be
A
great.
postal stuff.
It would be great, man. It would be great. I'd love to see something like that.
I don't know if the gaming community is ready for that though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It could be funny.
It's always like, you guys ever seen any coverage of like Tokyo Game Show like, over the years?
Years ago.
And there's always like such crazy shit, like a GameSpot will like, you know, do like, oh, we're just gonna walk around the floor and see what cool stuff they have, and it's like weird, awesome stuff that like will never even be discussed outside of Japan. But how awesome would it be if it existed here? If it was just like a thing? Like I think I saw a makeout sim with like an attachment that was like a tongue, and the way you play the game is you tongue the tongue. There's
Was this for the Wii?
Really?
first-person shooters.
What's this?
And I think it's one of those what do they call them?
Fucked up games.
There's a very specific term for it.
Tongue Simulator 2015.
Seppuku.
It's like you know, there's like the manga, which is like the comics in Japan. Then there's like mangaka, which are like, you know, like indie developers that do their own like manga, but they have the same things for like games and game development. So like, it's just, you know, a competition to see who can get crazier and crazier. And yeah, I'm just saying there should be more of that here instead of just indie developers that make roguelikes. Drop some.
It's a fair statement, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a market for anything these days. I mean, to be fair, you are seeing more and more Japanese games come this way than I think I think we have in a long time, especially
Steam opened the floodgates. Now we can't close them.
especially on Vita and Steam. Yeah, both of those platforms are. I mean, obviously, we'll never get all of them. There's just no way in hell. Like, that just won't ever happen. But we're getting a lot more of them than I think we ever have. Well, not at least have in a very long time. And they're more, and by that I mean I guess they're more accessible. You don't have to go like import them or like get them at a specialty store. You can just pick up Senran Kagura at a Best Buy.
Especially now in the digital age, you don't even need the fucking physical
Yeah,
product.
yeah. Exactly. You don't even need to go to the store anymore. You can just download them.
Did you hear about that thing that happened to like Nintendo? You know how like they have like a loyalty system where like if you buy a game,
Oh yeah,
it comes with like a little points, like Nintendo points that you can redeem
they
online.
canceled that, right? They got rid of
Apparently,
it.
they were giving away copies of Homeworld. Well, not Homeworld. Some game, but digital copies of this game.
Mhm.
And apparently, if you were like too late to the party and you try to redeem yours with your free digital points, they ran out of stock of a digital game. Like only with like money hungry ass Nintendo would something like that happen, where they have like a potentially infinite amount of number of games of this particular game, but they limit it to like 200. So that's just like a weird thing
Hold
that
on.
I hope like doesn't happen anywhere.
Well, let's
It
go
could
on
be
up.
a key issue. Just saying.
Maybe, but you can
Key,
just
but
produce more keys. That's not.
doesn't
Yeah,
make
I mean,
any
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
If it's something that we're promising to give to people, like don't fuck that up. Anyways, real quick, Jose, you're a good person to ask this. What do you think about all these new Nintendo console rumors that are circulating? The fact that it seems like they might already be in developing a new console and just abandoning the Wii U.
It's weird because the Wii U has seen like crazy growth in the last couple of months. I guess ever since the release of like the new Smash Brothers game, they've just been coming out with
Nah,
all the
it
games
started
people
going
want.
up like when they released the new Mario Kart. Like I
Yeah,
think
Mario
that was,
Kart,
I
I
think
think
that
was-
was like the new.
Didn't Brawl come out or the Smash Brothers game come out before Mario?
It did on 3DS.
Oh.
Oh,
It came out.
They were
on
both right around the
3DS,
same
like,
time. Like both
way
those
before.
games are what kind of
Um,
breathed new life into that console without question.
but yeah, I just think it's interesting. I mean, obviously we don't actually know what this is, but a lot of people are just assuming it's new hardware. But I think it's funny that they're talking that this information is already out there. We know they're working on something internally, something massive, and now all of a sudden they're delaying the new Zelda game. There's a lot of people speculating that maybe the new Zelda game's not going to be on Wii U and it's going to be on the new console instead. Because yeah, they've that game was supposed to come out this year. They've delayed it into 2016 now.
well, it would definitely be the game that moves systems.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Well, a lot of people are either speculating that it's either going to be on a new console or it's going to be like Princess that was on GameCube and Wii, but like the Wii version was like the definitive one or whatever. Although I guess a lot of people preferred that on GameCube, to be honest. I don't know.
They
Anyways,
could, yeah. Farsendor brings up a good point. They could just release it on the Wii U and the new system, because they did it with Zelda Twilight Princess on the GameCube and the Wii. So that's
Yeah.
possible. I don't know. I don't see them pulling a new system out of their ass inside of like a year and a half, though. That timetable doesn't really add up. It's possible. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, honestly, how hard can it be to design a console nowadays? Like, all you have to say is, put in something that's a little bit better than what the current generation of consoles are doing. Like, make it a little bit faster than the PS4. Excuse me.
I don't know.
And just
If
churn it out.
If Nintendo pulled an on live, that would be the only way like that thing would work, because it has like an enormous player base already or fan base. And if they do like just like a streaming box with the Nintendo brand on it, that would be pretty successful.
You
Especially
think
if
so,
it's
though?
cheaper
Like,
than like, especially if
all
it's
the
like
streaming
super cheap.
Yeah, I guess, but like you'd be segmenting so much of your audience. Keep in mind, like, a large portion of fucking Nintendo's fan base is in Middle America, and they don't have access to the best internet on the face of the earth. Like, aside from the areas that have like Google Fiber, there's a lot of people still using like DSL and stuff, you know, in middle America. So that isolates a whole segment of your audience that wouldn't be able to use something like that. But I mean, Nintendo's been one of those companies that's been stupid enough to release something that I don't know. I kind of view them in the same way that I view Apple. They're all too willing to turn around and create something new that's supposed to be innovative and abandon everything else that they've done. So I mean, I don't know. They could. I wouldn't be surprised if they did do something like that. It could be interesting to see if they do, to see what it does to the community. But like given all the backlash that happened when Xbox One was supposed to be only online, like I don't know how much that would fly. I think they would. I think their best bet would be to just make something a little bit faster than the PlayStation, and eat the cost. I mean, honestly, like the 3DS is keeping that company afloat enough that even with the bad sales of the Wii U, they'd still be able to eat the cost of the console. Like, eat $30-$40 off the sale or off the price of every console and make it competitive at least with the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I think they could be very successful, especially if they said, hey, you know, here's the new Zelda game, and announce something else big that's going to be on the heels of it. Fuck, if they did like another Super Mario RPG, like, holy shit. that console would sell. I would buy one, dude.
I just think it's too soon. Maybe if they did something where it was like the Wii U games were compatible with it, and they finagled some shit like that around, it might be more viable. I just don't see them launching a brand new console like they did with the Wii U, where you can't, not backwards compatible, and launching a whole new lineup of games to kick it off. Like you said, Zelda would be preferable, or rebooting an old thing like Mario, but one of the Mario franchises. I don't know. I think it's too soon for them to completely be like, here's a new console. Maybe conceivably doing like an upgraded version of the Wii U, like maybe the Wii U 2 or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, just add another like graphics version.
Yeah, just add a bit more power to it. And
they have to. They can't, like, yeah, I can see what you're saying, but they couldn't call it, like, Wii anything. Like, dude, that, like, the fact that they went from the Wii to the Wii U confused so many people, like, it was dumb. And then don't give, like, the fact that they called the new iteration of the 3DS the new 3DS.
See, they're all like, about confusing ass names, dude, and confusing the market.
They're confusing the fuck out of their market. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Come up with some better names, guys. Like, don't call this next console a Wii U anything. Don't call it a Wii anything, period. Just call it the new Nintendo console. I don't know, man. Just fucking
Mario box.
Call it something, man. Like, just, yeah.
And shape it like Mario's hat. Pay me, Nintendo. It's a fucking idea right there.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just one of those really weird things that somewhere in their marketing they're just like, this is a great idea, and it's an awful fucking idea. Whoever says that things are a good idea on their marketing team should be fired.
Maybe it works in Japan. They're a Japanese company.
That's true. Dead in your tracks.
No, I mean, you're right. I was gonna say Sony doesn't do that, but everything's been PlayStation. And that shut me up. You're right. You're right. I don't know. It just, I think they have a really, really bizarre message with what they're doing in terms of their marketing. And yeah, maybe it does work in Japan, but as far as I understand, consoles in general like aren't doing well in Japan. Nobody really plays consoles anymore. From at least the stats that I've heard, most gaming is done now like on cell phones, like on the train. Like, that's where 90% of Japan's gaming comes from these days, apparently.
That's sad.
Or like handheld devices in general. Like the 3DS does really well. The Vita does a lot better than it does here, but still not that well. But mainly it's either like cell phones or like 3DSs, which is why Nintendo does so well with its handheld, because that's really successful here, and it's really successful in Japan. It's really successful in every market they release it in. It's their console that's hurting, but I don't know. I would not be surprised, because I mean the fact that they just came out with a 3DS XL, what, like 2 years ago? Yeah, I bought it for when I had bought it, I think it had been out for like 6 months at that point, and I bought it 2 years ago just for the new Zelda game on it, and they've already come out with a new one, and that can play games that the new one can only play. You know, like the new Xenogears game is strictly on the new 3DS. So I wouldn't be.
That's because they completely got rid of the 3D aspect of the 3DS, right? Or something
No, no,
weird
no,
like
no, no,
that.
no, 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 no. They released like a that 2D iteration that was just like the solid block. But then they released a new one and it's got like a C stick on the side as well, so it gives you actually like two thumbsticks. And so you can only play the new Xenogears game on that one. See, you don't even know. Everybody's confused about this shit. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they have a brand new one that came out like 3 months ago. And you can only play like two. I think the new Zelda game can only get played on the new one also. And it's just like what? They like re-released Majora's Mask. And I think it can only be played on the new one also. I'm not 100% about that one, but I know the new Xenogears can only be played on that one. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Nintendo. I really wouldn't. I think they'd be 100% okay with saying, you know what, we're done with the Wii U. Moving on to greener pastures. And lowering the price of the Wii U a shit ton and then releasing a new console. Because, I mean, honestly, there's still life in the Wii U. I mean, at least for people that haven't played any games on it yet.
I kind of
Like me.
would just for fucking Bayonetta. That's all I would use. Oh, I'd play Mario Kart and shit, but that would be the reason I would buy a fucking Wii U.
That would be the
Delicious
reason you'd buy
Bayonetta.
that would be the reason you buy a Wii U, man.
I mean, aside from the gratuitous TNA, it was actually a really fun game, and I was really annoyed when that got announced as a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah.
I like that they have a one-handed playing like version of the game. Where
They-
you could just use like the thumbstick and like the D-pad apparently for reasons.
Ah, that makes sense now.
Huh.
The fappening.
The fat. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just Nintendo confuses me. Anyways, that's enough of a Nintendo total
Nintendo talk?
sidetrack.
A couple more things on the docket. Before we move on to Hearthstone, though, me and Jose talk about Depth a little bit,
Depth.
which is a game on Steam much in the vein of like Evolve or Dino D-Day, basically monsters versus humans. In this particular game, the first game mode that was introduced or the basic game mode, is 2 players, our sharks, and 4 are divers. And obviously you're in the ocean. Divers go find treasure with their little robot friend and crack safes and whatnot, get monies. Sharks eat the divers, and there's like a limited number of lives. It's pretty fucking simple, ridiculously fucking fun. I really fucking love Depth. Cannot recommend it enough. Jose, what are your thoughts on the subject?
There are some technical things about it that really make me happy. Like when you're loading into the game, it tells you exactly like who's slowing down the game, who's connecting last, or whose rig is crap. And then if you don't load it in the allotted time it gives you, it boots you from the game. It says, fuck you, fix your shit, and then it like builds in a box. So that made me happy right there. I was like, ooh, I like it. This is awesome. And then second, if you have a fear of like open water or like just
This
like
will not
just
help
the
things.
general creepiness of the ocean, like this game is better than like Outlast or like
No, dude.
Slender
Talk
or
Simulator
any other horror
2014
game.
best.
Because
Jesus.
I don't know, dude. Like that sort of stuff is pretty creepy to me, and this is like the first time it's really like made me like the first game I played. I was like scared as hell. My heart rate was like all the way up. Then I got better with it as we kept playing more games, and it became more technical, like Twitch shooter, essentially. But yeah, it is super fun, and I like the whole mess of people versus just like the one big monster, like the 2 sharks, that asymmetrical I guess like deathmatch that Tim was talking about. Apparently this game came out a little while ago, so
Yeah,
I'm
in
kinda late
November.
to the bus, but it's so super fun. And apparently they added a new Megalodon mode.
Yeah, they
I
added
don't know
What?
they added a new mode with that's why it was on sale. They added a mode where just one big giant fucking shark, and if you kill it, you become the shark, and that's the game. for however many minutes or whatever it is.
And it's all about being the shark. Like, I don't think you get as much as, or you don't get the options to buy as many guns as you do in the other mode, because you start off with
Yeah,
like an assisted diver thing,
yeah.
like 2 weapons, and then you just got to kill the shark and eat as many people as you can before you're killed.
Yeah, it's not so much about finding treasure and building up your bank roll. It's more about just fucking slaying. I really like this game, though. Like, one of the problems I had with Evolve, aside from just not liking it in general, was the fact that it was only one monster. So, as a monster, I feel like it could be fun for the first few rounds, but eventually they get boring. But with this, there's 2 sharks, so you can like coordinate with your buddy and be like, "Hey, let's fucking pincer move them."
Absolutely,
or, hey,
never happens.
No, but I'm saying the possibility for that is there. And the fact that, what is it, fucking it's 6 players to a normal match. You can get a group of people together and do that, no problem.
I also like how you're not tied into a specific role. Kind of like Evolve, you're the trapper, or like the, I don't know, like the shield, whatever.
It's all just depending on what you
if you
spend your
find
cash
something
on.
that you're good at, you should do that. And then mid-game, you'd be like, you know what, these mines aren't working. I'm going to switch to sonar.
Mines always work.
Or you see, like, this asshole is much better with mines, so I'm going to switch to something else. I like that.
Your stupid techies video that you uploaded.
I'm so in on this game now that I can be techies in this game. It is fantastic.
You are absolutely in on this game. Tell them what you did, Tim.
What did I do? With the techies mines? I blew up sharks with mines, and then I laughed.
No, the other thing you did.
The other thing I did. I don't. You're gonna have to fucking just tell me. Out with it, Jose.
You bought some skins.
Oh yeah, I totally bought. I was so fucking in on this game. I was just like, fuck it, and bought some stupid in-game skins that were on the Steam store because they were 20% off.
You know how I knew you were going to do that before you did that?
Because I'm an asshole.
You said this game is like Payday 2. I was like,
so
Tim is going to go all in.
I have to buy DLC because it's just like Payday 2. You know, that's a good goddamn point, Jose. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
That's funny. So, like, how many different maps and stuff are there? Like, what are?
I think initially there were like 6, and they added a couple. I think there's 8 or 9 now. But they've like all the updates. They're doing it like the Payday motto originally was going to be, which is all the like maps and shit will be free, and they're planning on doing more cosmetics over time. Like, it's a really badass shark skin I wouldn't mind having, but I'm not going to spend fucking $5 on it. But yeah, they seem to be going that route, and I really like that route a lot. The game, you have to keep in mind the community is not big, but with the sale, it definitely
bolstered it a little bit.
Yeah, it brought it up. I think at one point it was higher than the numbers it got during the Steam Christmas sale. But this is the type of game where you're going to be able to find a match, I think. It's going to have a small, steady community. It did up to a point before the sale over the weekend.
Well, I mean, if it eventually gets to the point where it's like Killing Floor, and they put that game on sale every few months, like, yeah, it'll never stop getting a community.
And they released the SDK with the latest updates, so mods will soon be a thing with that game, which I'm really looking forward to seeing some fucked mods in that.
that could be absolutely ridiculous.
It's fucking Shrek Shark mods.
You know it's gonna happen. Some fucking Pepe. Some fucking Pepe shark mods. Just stupid shit. Oh man, that'd be funny. That stupid frog is everywhere.
But yeah, like over the weekend I hit up Jose. I'm like, hey, let's split a 4-pack of this game. Like, what could go wrong? And it was probably like the best investment either of us have made in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I am interested in hopping in on that. Bloodborne. Can't stop playing.
Hey man, I'm still in on Elite Dangerous. Depth is just it's my side pussy. That's what depth is right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm halfway through that game. I think. Maybe.
Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Haven't you been playing that for like a week now? How are you only halfway through it?
Well, I mean, I haven't had that much time to play because of packing and stuff.
Oh, you've been busy with that. Still a scrub lord though.
Well, yeah. I just killed my 6th boss, and I think there's like 13.
Ways to go then.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm still enjoying the shit out of it though. I definitely just hit another fucking brick wall though. Like that game just gets like, all right, you're comfortable with it. You kind of know what to expect, and then just fuck you. every I don't know, like 3 bosses or so, it's just a huge spike, just difficulty spike right up. But yeah, I'm still enjoying the living shit out of that game. Anyways, I don't even know what got us onto the topic of Bloodborne. I just like talking about it.
Yeah,
What else do we have?
your whore mouth shut about Bloodborne.
Bloodborne best.
What else do we have? Oh, Hearthstone expansion. This will fucking carry us to the end.
I wish you could see my shit-eating facial expression right now, Tim.
When did this came out on last? Was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
Or Wednesday?
Yeah. No, it came out Thursday.
Okay. Yeah.
Thursday.
I knew it was after
Thursday.
we were done casting last week.
Yeah.
I like I told you earlier, it ran me about 40 minutes, but I'm pretty happy with the first swing. Keep in mind there's 5 more. I really enjoyed the first boss. I don't really give a shit about the card unlocks right now. I don't even know all the cards that come with the expansion. I kind of kept myself in the dark, and now whenever I play through the little campaign they set up, it's kind of cool because now I can see like, oh, that's a fucking awesome card. I can't wait to see how I can incorporate that into a deck. So I'm taking that approach to it instead of your just must have every card, must know everything approach. But what did you think of it? Because you are way the fuck more into Hearthstone than I am.
There are a number of cards that are already out that are ridiculously OP. They're already starting to change the meta, which is interesting. There's a lot of like bizarre stuff that's been released that I guess people like didn't realize was going to be as powerful as it was. The 2 cards that I really want to like get into right now are Grim Patron, which is 5 mana for a 3/3, and it says whenever this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron. That thing is ridiculous in warrior decks. If a warrior manages to get one of those on the board and keep it alive you can deal damage to it right off the bat with pretty much any fucking warrior spell. And all of a sudden you just have 2 3/3 creatures on the board for 5 mana, and then all you have to do is whirlwind, and then you just can't ever destroy them. I keep seeing people throw those down with the Kel'Thuzad, and it's just a board full of fucking Grim Patrons. It's I don't know, that card is OP, and Blizzard is going to have to nerf that at some point. And then the other one that is turning out to be a bit more of a big deal than I anticipated, at least, is Emperor Thaurissan. He's a 6 mana for a 5/5, and at the end of your turn, it reduces the cost of cards in your hand by 1. That is ridiculous, especially in ramp druid decks.
Yeah, if you can pull that out like turn 4, if you have the right card draw for it, that would be pretty ridiculous.
I played a couple games before jumping into the cast, and I had one out on turn 2.
Turn 2?
Yeah. I got
or something. How did that even work out?
2 innervates.
Oh, okay.
Threw it down on turn 2, and that was it, dude. I mean, by turn 5, I could play anything in my hand. Like, I had Ragnaros down. I had 2 Sludge Belchers, and like the guy just couldn't do anything. So
he's not a hard card to kill, really.
He's
but that early on, he absolutely like you're not going to. Maybe if you're a rogue or something, but you're really not going to kill him. The
thing that I didn't realize in reading the card text, and I actually didn't realize this until I was watching some people live stream Hearthstone the other night, it actually continues to reduce the cost of your cards down every turn. So it's not just something that happens once. Literally at the end of every turn, it reduces the mana cost. So like some of your... If you've got a handful of really powerful creatures and you get that out on early on the board... Like, by like turn 6, you can play like 3 or 4 really ridiculously powerful creatures like down on the board, like it's no big deal. I don't know, man. Those cards are already, like I said, changing the face of things. And it's going to be really interesting seeing what the rest of the wings do. It'll be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, I like. I do prefer this over the multiplayer. I just like the over the top goofiness of the stupid characters, like unlocking the cards like that. It's a lot more fun to me than just stupid grinding at Hearthstone so I can get stupid booster packs and build a stupid good deck.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The guaranteed cards are nice. It is true. Even if it really only lasts for. I mean, you're right. I think it might have taken me. I didn't have to replay any of them. I just went through one by one. I think it maybe took me 25 minutes maximum to go through all of them.
Yeah.
The heroic ones are actually proving to be pretty difficult. I'm still trying to. I try for a long time to try to like come up with some sort of deck that I think will beat them before trying to get any help with it online, and these ones are proving to be quite a challenge.
I like the fact that they're just kind of goofy at points. Like I really like I think it was the first boss where he has a power that he can cast every turn with no mana cost, where it just plops a random creature from both decks onto the field.
Yeah.
It's just such stupid RNG, but it's so fun.
Yeah, the heroic one, he gets 2 and you get 1, and that
Yeah, I
shit
saw
gets,
that.
that shit gets.
That could be viable, I guess, if you pick like a stupid, dumb, strong, like I don't know.
I tried that already.
Priest,
that
maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe if you had like I don't know. It's fucking bizarre, man. And I haven't even gotten past the first guy, but I've seen what some of the other heroic abilities are, and it's dumb. It's dumb. That's
I only
the
got through
bottom
like
line.
the first wing of heroic on Nax, just because I thought you unlocked. I thought you could unlock a card per wing or something dumb like that, and then I figured out I had to run through every fucking thing on her, and I just know I did the first wing. That's enough punishment for me. Like I'm not that psychotic.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's just
Even if
such
you-
dumb RNG.
Yeah, even if you have like the appropriate deck builds for it, it's still a pain in the ass. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to the rest of them, and this one, I don't know. A lot of people have been talking about like, well, how do you feel about BlackRock versus Nax?
Well, the thing that threw me off originally was the first wing of Nax was free, and with BlackRock that wasn't the case. But I think it was still the same price, unless I'm mistaken.
to
I think
buy
both-
all of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it's
it
25
was.
bucks now. Yeah,
Because
So that kinda-
the first wing, it was like to introduce the adventure modes for the first time. So
yeah,
like,
I guess yeah, that does make more sense.
that first wing was, and I think it was only free for like 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, it was timed.
It might have been a month. But yeah, that first wing was only free temporarily. So I think it's one of those things where people kind of know what to expect now from the adventure modes, and they were just like, all right, well, we're gonna release this. I mean, technically, they can all still be free. You can buy all the wings with in-game gold. Like, you don't actually have to pay for any of them, but it just makes things a lot easier. So, I don't know. Interesting.
How do those packs work? Like you said, when they come out with an expansion, you just play a lot till you get it, or you can just buy it outright.
You
how it
grind
works?
for months, or you just drop like $50.
No,
It's
it
pretty much
doesn't.
out.
Oh,
It
so it
doesn't
takes-
take months, dude. Like if you play a lot of that game, you can do it, and you can you can have enough to unlock a wing per week.
Oh, I thought he was just talking about cards in general.
Oh, for just the cards? Yeah, it takes a long time. You've got to kind of. It's all entirely RNG. I mean, I wish Blizzard would show you how many hours you put into a game, but I've probably put about 300 or 400 hours into Hearthstone, and there's still so many cards that I'm missing. I've gotten a lot, and I really had a lucky streak a couple weeks back, but
Annoyed me to no end.
I just got like legendary after legendary.
Every
a
like
couple weeks
there was
back.
like a 12-hour period. I get a message from Palmer like, "I got another legendary." Just fuck.
Yeah. And by the end of all that, I had enough to craft another legendary. So that made up for things a lot. Because there was like, I don't know. Part of the reason I stopped playing that game as much is because there was like a 7-month period where I wasn't even getting like epics. It was all just rares. Just all of them were rares, and I was just getting so mad because they were all cards I already had. Which is how I managed to get enough shit to craft another legendary after all was said and done. But Yeah, if you're really trying to take that seriously as like a free to play game, it's going to require a lot of time before you're going to get anything really good. But there's still a lot you can do with basic cards. It's a lot about how you play with them and stuff. I've seen players take basic decks and fucking just trample people. It's just how it's RNG on what you draw and how well you can think about what you're playing, I guess. Obviously, if you have a natural knack for things like Magic or something like that, I think you have a bit of an advantage when it comes to playing Hearthstone.
Someone in chat, Farsendor is bringing up 300-400 hours into one game. He hasn't done that since Call of Duty 4 or Bad Company 2. How many hours do you have in Dota 2, Palmer? Because I know you have more. I have over 1,600 hours in Dota 2, and I know you outshine me by at least 500.
I've almost got 2,100 hours. I'm at 2091.
Yeah.
I actually did the math on that
Guys,
the other
I've
day.
got 3 minutes.
You couldn't do the tutorial, man. It was just too much.
3 minutes. I got you for 3 minutes.
Farsendor is saying he should probably try out Hearthstone. Here's an interesting thing. What would you recommend to someone who's first getting into Hearthstone? What deck do you think would be good
That's
for
87 days. That's almost 3 months, 3 straight months of me playing one fucking video game. Fuck.
Dota 2, man.
What did he say? I'm sorry, Farsendor. What did you say, man?
No, I was bringing up a interesting question. For someone who was going to get into Hearthstone for the first time, what hero or deck would you recommend they roll with right out the gate once they have all their basic cards unlocked? Or what deck do you think they should start crafting or building towards for someone who's just starting in Hearthstone?
Probably a green deck or a red deck. You should have a lot of
Orcs and
a lot of
Goblins.
monsters, low hit points.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of fireballs too. Pay X mana for damage. Yeah, you gotta make sure you got all that shit in there. No,
69 days in Dota 2. That is disgusting.
you probably want to start off with stuff with like a mage or a rogue. They're really easy to grasp the concepts on. They
Diverse deck.
yeah, if hero powers do one definite thing, you know exactly what to do. There's not much. There's a lot of ways you can control your board, and they have a lot of really, really good cards that aren't hard to find or hard to get. Like just playing through the mini campaign, I guess, for the mage deck where you
That's
have
basically
to
a
unlock
tutorial.
everything. Yeah. You unlock a lot of really good cards. So I mean that's probably the best one to start with. It's also ridiculous. Mech mages are still ridiculously powerful. I think there are some decks that should probably be stayed away from for beginners. Priests are definitely one of those, and shamans are another one, mainly because of their mechanics and the way their cards work. So yeah, start with a rogue or a mage. That's my suggestion on the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd definitely say mage. Maybe druid. Druid can be fun. Saved by Christ wants to know our thoughts on reviewer Angry Joe.
Oh, Angry Joe. Didn't he just break some big news recently? Everybody's been citing him lately, from what I've seen. He's all right. He's an interesting guy. So I've seen a few of his reviews. I think he's a good guy. He puts out good content. Makes things that are pretty entertaining. I don't really go out of my way to find his videos, but the ones that I have seen are enjoyable. I tend to watch his shit when I'm intoxicated and just want to giggle. He gets really angry and it amuses me.
I'm pretty neutral
I'm
on
new to
him.
Twitch, so I don't really know.
He's more YouTuber than Twitch.
Oh,
Yeah, well, no, he does a lot of Twitch stuff now too.
Oh.
Granted, everybody does, but
Yeah.
he's an interesting fellow.
I don't really have an opinion on him one way or the other.
I
think I've seen one or two of his reviews. I don't really care for it, but I don't oh, fuck that guy. I'm not like that. I'm pretty neutral on him.
You should join a metal band. He's got a pretty good scream. When he gets mad, he really resonates his voice. Gets growly, you know.
Yeah, I think one of the videos I saw was him screaming about like Fable 3 years ago, which kind of so it was like an hour long or some shit.
I think the one that like really rocketed him was that what was it, like the Hell on Wheels game about like the Sons of Anarchy game. It wasn't like it was like a shitty biker game.
Shitty biker, yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
So yeah.
That was
Hell
the first
to
one.
Ride to Hell.
Yeah, Ride to Hell, I think was what it was. That game. That was the first time I'd ever seen him review something, and that made me lose my shit. That video was hilarious. And the best part about that video was that he was like 100% correct about everything he was getting pissed off about. It was great. It was fantastic. What a fucking awful game that was.
Apparently, he's no longer going to review or play like Nintendo games.
Yeah, there's a lot of
chat
people
saying Nintendo flagged one of his videos because he got paid for it, and he's saying he will not be making any more Nintendo videos due to that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I guess 3 weeks ago or so. Nintendo said they were going to take like 25% of whatever streamers made from videos made from their assets. So I mean, like it's or assets made from their products rather. A lot of major streamers said, okay, well, we're just not going to stream Nintendo games as soon as that happened. I mean, there are still a few out there, I guess, that don't mind that and are just, like, catering towards the Nintendo crowd. But I don't know. I think that was ridiculous that Nintendo even did that. It's just another example of them being a little too greedy. Granted, I guess... You know, I've heard both sides of the argument. You know, it's their product. They should have the right to dictate how people can use it. And if people are making money off of it, they should see something from that. So I mean, I can't be 100% faulting them. It's their right as a company, but it doesn't stop it from being a shitty thing to do. You really don't see a whole lot of other. I mean. When other major publishers like EA and even fucking Ubisoft at this point aren't really doing something like that, it doesn't make any sense. It just takes away from your streaming traffic. But yeah, I mean, I like him. He's a good guy. I don't blame him for stopping the Nintendo reviews. I don't blame him at all.
One of those weird things that it sounds like the Nintendo had like a blanket monetization, like I guess deal you had to buy into, but apparently it's not for like every game. He got flagged for reviewing Mario Party 10, which apparently isn't a game that's covered under the whole Nintendo monetization thing.
Really?
Yeah, and that sucks because he's a YouTuber and getting flagged, you only get so many flags on your channel before it.
Yeah, before they delete it. Granted, you can appeal that, and Google's pretty good about protecting their. I mean, it's not really in Google's best interest to remove their biggest YouTube accounts, you know? So Google's pretty, from what I understand, has reversed a number of those things or has worked with people on that. But I don't know how much truth there is to that. But yeah, there's definitely a limit to how many times you can get flagged, and that is pretty shitty. I don't know. I think all that means is people should just stay away from Nintendo games, period. Even if they're not on the list, they're still gonna flag you down. I don't know. It just makes
you're gonna run into some sort of issue.
Yeah. Just stay away from them. It's really the bottom line. Talk about them all you want to. You know, you can say whatever you want about the company, as long as you're not showing anything from their games.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
From now on.
Huh?
Before we close out, I will see if chat wants us to bring up anything else. It's actually been pretty lively tonight.
All right.
One guy thinks Jose looks like Tarzan or Jesus.
He's Jesus.
I went with Tarzan Jesus, yeah.
Tarzus, yeah, Tarzan. Isn't Targus like a electronics company? I don't know.
Like a fake company on Tim and Eric.
Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. Tarzus, though, I like that. That's the best. I just threw a calculator right over your face, Tim. I'm gonna do it again. 87 fucking days, people. That's how long I put into Dota. Anyways, moving on.
All right. Well, we've been good for an hour. I think we're good. we said we were going to do giveaways this week. We actually had 2 people that follow us that have been interacting in chat all night. I'm going to message both of those guys a Steam key. I'm going to give them a choice of games, let you guys pick out what you want for being our first loyal viewers and interacting in chat and whatnot.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
thanks for bearing with us.
oh, here we
guys.
go. One last one. Worst movie you watched in the theater. Then you can go, lol. Wild Wild West. Me and Danny won. We were like fucking 10 years old. We went and saw that movie, and we came out. My dad picked us up, and he was like, "How was it?" And even as like 10-year-olds, we were like, "That was the worst piece of shit we've ever seen in our life." We were trying to explain the mechanical spider to him.
That was the
We
best
couldn't properly
movie made by
convey.
man, Tim.
You would
I don't
love
know
that movie, wouldn't
what
you?
the crap you're crying about.
I mean, Salma Hayek looked great in it, but that was about it.
I think mine had to be. Well, Rob Zombie remade the Halloween movies, and I saw the second one in theaters, the second remake he did, and I saw it by myself, and that was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a movie theater, because that film was awful, like legitimately awful. But there was something about, like, there was a scene where it was like he puts his wife in every fucking movie that he makes, and so there's a scene where his wife is just standing there, and she's like standing next to a unicorn, and it's totally fucking pointless, and it's amidst all this carnage. It's like happening like sliced into like other frames of just like, you know, Michael Myers just breaking people's arms and stuff, and fucking just like brutality, utter brutality is happening on screen like every like 15 seconds or so. And then it was just cut in with like his wife standing next to a unicorn in all white, and that movie made no sense. And I was like I said, I was there by myself, and I walked out about 20 minutes before it was over because I said I couldn't take it anymore. And
but what if it turned out to be like the greatest ending to a movie ever made?
Don't even care, Tim. Went up to the and I have never been to this theater since. Went up to the manager and asked for a refund because the movie was awful. I was like, "Look, I'm leaving early. Like, this movie sucked." Like,
you were that guy?
Yeah, no, dude, I was totally that guy. Fuck that shit. Like, and the manager was just like, "No, like, you watched more than half the movie." And I remember getting so pissed off about
you
that.
You fought him.
Yeah. And
Palmer's first direct.
I never. Yeah, we engaged in fisticuffs. I haven't been to see a movie in like a legitimate theater in a really long time, but fucking yeah,
about 8 years for me.
Yeah, we have like a drive-in theater nearby, and we watch shit all the time at that because that place is the fucking best. But yeah, I don't know. I've had so many awful experiences in movie theaters, not necessarily because of the movies, but because I don't know. I can't justify paying that much for popcorn. Fuck out of here.
What about you, Jose?
Not like a particular movie, but like an event. I used to go to like see movies with my family on the weekends. It was like a family thing. We'd all see the same movie, and then we'd talk about it on the ride home.
It's so very wholesome.
One time, this was like when I was really young, we went to go see the movie Magic in the Water. It's about the Loch Ness Monster, but it's like a cutesy like kids movie. And so instead, I chose to see Mortal Kombat, which was going at the same time as that movie. And little Jose was like, "Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat, yeah!" And it was awesome. And then I forgot all about Magic in the Water. Then like years later, as an adult, I was like, "Oh." For some reason, I still remember this as the movie I never got to see. And this is at the height of like, when I loved all things
it's
crypto.
It's the one thing that escaped him.
Like, I was all into like Bigfoot, like Loch Ness monsters, like Lake Champlain monster. I was obsessed with like monsters. So like, it made perfect sense to see this movie, but I refused to as a kid. Watched it as an adult. It was so crap. In my mind, it was the greatest movie ever because I never saw it, but then I finally saw it.
Just the myth continued to grow in young Jose's mind over time.
Yep, it broke me.
It broke you.
That's why he's the bitter man he is today, boys.
Yeah, that's our Tarsus.
That should be your new handle, by the way.
It should be. It should be. Yeah, I'm changing that 100%. Twitch.tv/Tarsus.
I rarely wear my hair down.
Well, yeah,
It's going to be
clearly,
lost
This is
forever.
what happens when you do.
clearly you need to market your image a little better there, Jose. Well, do we have anything else?
Nope. I will message our 2 viewers through our Twitch thing when we're
Alright.
done live casting and all that good jive. So I will message them and get to them and all that good stuff.
Sounds good.
Doing
Sounds
something
good.
nice.
Well, I guess on what? Continue.
No, I just said give them something nice, and I said I will.
Okay. Well, that wraps it up for tonight's episode. We'll be back on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll rant for however long we can rant on Wednesday. Anyways, we'll see y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I had Tim. You can follow him. He does individual streaming at twitch.tv/Logan703. You can follow him on Twitter at Logan703. We've got Jose down at the bottom. Twitch.tv/CAD_007. That's where you can find him, and you can find him on Twitter at CAD007. And you can find me, twitch.tv/Sturmsworth, at Sturmsworth. Thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Dark Mushroom Media Cast. Take care, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.